Hi, third grade. I'm going to do a two-part review today. Here it's Tuesday, and I want to start with this page right here and do some division. Some of you can look at these and divide them very easily, like dividing this in half. You see it ends in a 2 and it's divided by 2. You know that something's going to happen there. So if you were to do short division, that's okay with me. But I'm going to take you through divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, repeat, and remainder. Okay, so we're going to take 2 and we're going to look at the 8. And we're going to say how many 2's are in 8. And if you skip counted by 2's, right? 2, 4, 6, 8. You would have 4. 4 times 2 is 8. And then you would subtract. Divide, multiply, subtract. Divide, multiply, subtract. And we have 0 here. And we're going to bring down the 2. We divide 2 by 2, it's 1. 1 times 2 is 2. And we subtract once again and we get 0 and we'll bring down the 2. And we're going to repeat that step because it's another 2. So 1 times 2 is 2. Now this is pretty easy, right? That one is one you could do in your head. What I want you to think about here, which I think is really important, we're going to divide 780 by 4. But remember what we did when we first started division? We said, what if you had $780 or if you had 780 Skittles? Let's say Chandler has 780 Skittles and he wants to divide them between himself and 3 friends. So a total of 4 friends, okay? 4 piles of Skittles equally divided, okay? So this number is being equally divided by 4. So let's look at this. How many 4's are there in 7? Well, we know 2 times 4 is 8, so that's too high. So let's go with 1. 1 times 4 is 4, and now we will subtract, and we get 3. The next step is to bring down the 8. Now, we're going to think about 4 on the 4 times table. What number is close to 38 without going over? And we know that 4 times 10 is 40, so 4 times 9 is 36. And then we're going to subtract 6 from 8 is what? 2. Okay, so now we're going to bring down that 0, and we have 20, which is a math party. 20 is on the 4 times table, so we know 4 dividing 20 would give us 5. 5 times 4 is 20, and we'll subtract and get 0. Now, if we want to know that our answer is right, what do? We multiply our quotient times our divisor. So quotient of 195 times 4. So Chandler and his 3 friends are going to get 195 Skittles each, okay, to have the same amount, an equal number. We're going to multiply it by 4 and see what we get. So 4 times 5 is 20. We're going to carry the 2, put the 0 down. 4 times 9 is 36, plus 2 is 38. Carry the 3. 4 times 1 is 4, and add 3 is 7. So now you have 780, which is the same number as this, okay? So these are very easy ones, right? But I want you to remember that don't get confused or nervous about word problems with division, because what we just did was a word problem. We didn't have the words written there, but what we did was we spoke about Chandler having 780 Skittles and dividing them between 4 people to get a set of 195 each. It's the same principle, all right? You don't have to worry about it. It's just the same thing, and you can do this. You've done it before, and you're pretty good at it. All right, so what I'd like to do with this is I'd like to review some of these chapters. I may have to do 2 videos, but you have a video on this page already that you can go back and look at, okay? It's very simple. But want to just point out another way of looking at it, okay? We went through this whole page. You can see, because remember my writing on my page, I wrote in my book. But let's look at this again. When you do the 8 times table, so we're taking 34 divided by 8, you say 8, 16, 24, right? 32, 40. So if we do this, this is the 3, 4, and 5 in a row on the 8 times table. So you skip counted, didn't you? 24, 32, 40, 48, and so on. So all you have to do is think about how the numbers are on the times table. Skip count. That's another way of doing this. You remember about estimating over here, okay? We knew that there are 3 quarters, right, in $1, 75 cents, 4 quarters in $1. So we knew that one already. Any points of reference that you have that help you to figure out the problem are good. Here you have 25 divided by 7. So what you are thinking about is what on the 7 times table is close to 25. And you remember 3 times 7 is 21. So it's about 3 times because 4 would be 28, and that's too large. So we're trying to stay close enough without going over. That's mostly what we're doing when we're dividing, okay? Now, that does change up in the chapter. We do have a page here later on where we just did it on Friday, I believe. Yeah, when we did estimating quotients. Now, when you're estimating, again, you're trying to find out how much about how much, okay? Remember, in your word problem, it would say about how much, okay? But look at this one right here. This one was the tricky one because 4 times 10 is 40. That goes over 39. But they wrote this in my book. It said, accept estimates that students can reasonably justify. So, in other words, this is really close. But if you wrote 9, that wouldn't be wrong either. I would accept it because 36 times 4, 9 times 4 is 36, which is lower than 39. So it could be 9 as well. I would accept that. And it says here, accept reasonable estimates that you can justify. The closest without going over 39 would be 9, not 10. Okay, so that could be confusing for you. Can I tell you, there will be nothing on the test like that. This is excellent math thinking. All of these estimates and trying to skip count on the times table to get the closest number without going over or the closest number within reason. This is great math thinking, and it's very important for you to have. And I gave you some examples on the last video of why that's important. Oh, my little clip lamp came off here. So don't worry about that. I'm not going to try to trick you on the test. I want you to do math. Okay, that's what's the most important to me for the test. I'm going to stop this video now, and then I'm going to start a new one in a moment. Bye.